Okay, y'all, so let's go into the Andy Byron situation. He's the startup for a company called Astronomer, and he was caught on Kiss Cam at a Coldplay concert with the head of HR. And he's married to somebody else and he has kids. So the Kiss Cam it shows on a huge screen, and it kind of goes around and puts people on camera and this and that. And the camera managed to catch Andy and his side piece, which both of them panicked. She covered her face and turned away, and he ducked down, and they were just trying to avoid. And the guy that was on stage, I don't know squat about Coldplay. I have to be honest, I don't know anything about them. But the guy that saw them the guy on stage said, "Oh, well, either this couple is having an affair or they're just very shy." So he's married with kids, and HR people will, get rid of you for misbehaving, but yes, she's the head of HR and she's having an affair with, I believe he was the CEO or whatever you call him, whatever. He's the millionaire. Um, so his wife changed her status on online. Can you imagine the absolute horror of the whole world knowing that you and your husband are married and the whole world sees your husband with his play toy and it goes viral all over the internet? Wow. You know, this is what I mean when I say if you know you can't be faithful, you don't need to be married. And I totally disagree with the corporate world pushing you to be married because it looks good on paper. And so people in high positions, or not even high positions, medium to high positions, will get married because the corporate world pushes you into that. They kind of shove you on your back and push you into that. I don't agree with that because that's personal and corporate needs to stay out of it. Unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And because the corporate world pushes that so hard, and we've talked about this before, that is the reason why you will not catch any doctors who are single unless they're students and they're pushed to find somebody too. Pushed, push, 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 push. Um, and if they are single, they get engaged pretty quick, or they get into a serious relationship pretty quick, and get the wheels turning to engagement and marriage because corporate world pushes that. So you're not going to find too many people that are single unless their wife died. They will hurry up and remarry. I mean, it don't make sense. And because the corporate world does that, I think that you should be have a fake wife. I'm serious. You live with her, you're involved with her, she wears a ring, you wear a ring, you tell everybody you're married, but you're not really married. Because if the corporate world's going to shove their ass in your personal business, then you can play the game too and act like, well, yeah, we're married. And then when things don't work out, you don't have to go through a divorce. You just go your separate ways after he's already done his career as a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. But or you can have a wife for a year or whatever, as long as everybody calms down because you have a quotation marks wife. Because and even an arrangement where y'all live together and you claim you're married and you both wear rings, but you're seeing other people. I mean, you have to learn to circumvent the rules. Do I agree with doing any of that either? No. But what else can you do? You don't need to be getting married to somebody and you're not faithful. You could have a fake marriage and y'all live together and wear rings and you see other people or whatever, because you push these people into getting married. They don't really want to be married because something over there always looks shinier and prettier. You can have an arrangement. Nobody's going to ask for your marriage certificate. If the only way you can advance in your career is to have a wife, then have a wife. But it shouldn't be legal because you know you can't be nobody could pay you to be faithful. So don't put your wife and kids, don't no. Have an arrangement. Have an arrangement. It doesn't even have to be legal. Because the corporate world has no business in your personal life. So you have to learn to circumvent their bullshit and appease them with something that looks like you're married, even though you're not, because this is crazy as hell. This dude is legally married and has children, and his children have to deal with the divorce. The wife has to deal with the humiliation and divorce. He has to deal with the humiliation because he put himself in that situation. Come on now. Really? Most people have no business getting married. Because, and especially in today's day and age where morals and ethics are non-existent. Non-existent. Nobody wants to be god dang faithful. So why in the blue hell are you married? If you can't commit to someone, don't commit. There's easy solutions to your problem. You can never be faithful. Don't get married. Have a fake wedding or have a fake spouse. There's rings that look like wedding rings. You can even get inexpensive ones. I mean, you're going to have to learn to circumvent the rules and make it and obey the rules, quotation marks, rules, without getting yourself into something that is potentially going to be a nightmare for a bunch of people. And this fake marriage, y'all don't even have to be intimate with each other or be involved with each other. If you're in public, you can hold hands or whatever. But behind closed doors, it's not real. It's not a real wedding because, or you could see other people or something. And even then, that's tricky too because when you're seeing other people, people are like, oh wow, that person's married and seeing so and so. That could be a business lunch. That don't necessarily mean that you're involved with the person. I just don't think that, you know, your place of business should stick their nose in your marital situation. But unfortunately, that's never going to die. So you have people pushing themselves into a marriage against their will because they really can't be faithful, like I said. There's a couple of couples on Dr. Orna, ORNA. One of them is a lesbian couple. Both of them are nurses. They graduated nursing school and, decided, well, we got that taken care of. We got our careers going. So let's go ahead and get married because that's next and, have kids and this kind of thing. And they did. And now one of one of the spouses wants to open the marriage up. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because she shouldn't have got married in the first goddamn place. That's why. Shouldn't have got married. And their relationship is on the rocks because she's getting itchy for somebody else. And flat out told her spouse, I'm just not attracted to you. Who says that? Who comes out of their left side of their neck and says that to their spouse? I felt my feelings were hurt and she didn't say it to me. Uh, you can't even manage a marriage between you and your spouse and you want more people, you want to add more people to the mix, and you honestly think that's going to work? And I'm going to tell you what's going on. What I feel is going on. I feel that she is like a lot of people. She gets bored easily. Some people do not have, I'm going to go there, I don't care. Some people do not have the maturity level to make a commitment and to stick with that commitment from now until the end of whatever, until death. I'm going to say the words, until death do you part. I do. But they don't. Because after they secured what they thought they wanted, now they're itching for something else because my life is too good. Ooh, ooh, did I go there? Yes, I did. My life is too good. She even admitted everybody loves my spouse and she's a great girl. Right, but that's still not enough for you. That's still not enough for you. She got no goddamn business getting married. She's itching for other people sexually. So I want to have my cake and eat it too by keeping my marriage intact, but ignoring part of the vows, I'll be with you till death do us part. Yeah, I could do that, but I still want to be with other people. Well, that's not what your vows say. There's no fine print in your vows that say, I'm going to be with you till death do us part and have your back through thick and thin, yada, 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 until I find somebody else that I want to sleep with. Which isn't sleeping, it's screwing. Your answers, I've said this for years, the answers to life's problems are not in someone else's underwear. The answers to life's problems are not in someone else's underwear. They are not in a bottle. They're not in a pill. They're not in a powder like cocaine or any other illicit substance. You're not going to find life's answers there. You have to go to therapy and find out why you feel the need to destroy yourself. You have to go to therapy to find out why you have to jeopardize yourself. Why, when your life is perfect as can be, I mean, because nothing is perfect. Things go wrong, things go left. The weather changes, severe weather. We got to board up our windows and a hurricane's coming. Life's not perfect, right? But so far as everything that you quote unquote are supposed to quotation marks have, marriage, kids, house, career, car, once people, a lot of people really, once they get their life secure, if they're not mature enough to handle it, they get bored. They get bored. My life is calm and peaceful, and I've got a partner by my side. I have nothing to worry about. If I fall down a flight of stairs and break my leg in 10,000 pieces, I've got somebody that's going to hold my hand through it. But it's not enough. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? Because how did we used to say that back in the day? Everybody thinks the grass is greener until they get to the other side and they find out that that is astroturf. Oh, that grass is so beautiful, so green. Look how lush it is. And then they get over there and they realize it's fake grass. So, figuratively speaking, I am risking losing everything that makes my life comfortable for fling. And you know what else? 9 times out of 10, once the person's marriage is done and they've been messing with this one person for who knows how long, then the chances of them staying with the person they were having a fling with are slim to none. So you risk losing everything because this person is so good in bed and you think they're such a great person and you want them in your life. You don't really want them in your life because the person that's supposed to be in your life forever, you didn't want them. because you have a small attention span. So the person you risked everything for, chances are you don't stay with that person either. And if you do, that person's always wondering, are you going to be faithful with me because you weren't faithful with your spouse? You were fooling around with me while you were married. It just don't make no sense. I think that in an ideal world, this isn't going to happen, but maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe I'll be surprised and it will. Somebody will take my word and say, she's got a point. I'm tempted to get married, but I know me. I can't be faithful, worth a damn. I would rather people realize that before they get married. Don't bother getting married because you cannot be faithful. Cannot be faithful. And some people will stay, get married, excuse me, stay married, and then try to convince theirself, or not theirself, could convince their partner that we should see other people while we're married. We should do a threesome. Or we should be poly. You know why? Because they want to keep the coziness of their life, but they want to get involved with other people, but they don't want to lose everything to do it. So they will try to entice their spouse. Let's see other people. I want to keep the solid ground that my life is on, but I also want to fool around with other people. So they try to convince their partner to do that too. And with HIV running around, I don't think you want to do that. And if you think there's no repercussions for doing that down the line, you better think again. It's all fun and games until life gets real and somebody gets their feelings hurt, or somebody catches feelings for somebody they weren't supposed to because they're not technically married to that person. They're married to someone else, but they were fooling around with this other person. Now there's feelings involved that weren't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be funsies only. And now it's turned into a spider's web of a mess. Because you can't convince yourself you're not going to have feelings for someone else. You don't have control over that like you think you do. You don't have control over that like you think you do. Think long and hard before you make any type of commitment to anyone. If you know that you're immature, and I'm not being mean, I'm just keeping it real with you. If you know that you are immature and you cannot stay with one person because of you got a small attention span like a 2-year-old, do not waste other people's time. He's got a lot to lose. Andy has a lot to lose. He's dumb. To be so smart, he's stupid. Because your wife's going to take so much of your damn money and so much of your money with child support, and you're going to have to pay that every month. Let me tell you something. Let me explain you something. There's no piece of butt in the world worth me losing everything important to me. Nobody's worth me losing everything if I'm married. Especially being a freaking millionaire. This boy's a millionaire. That's an expensive piece of tail that you messing with. Because you're gonna pay that to your wife, and you're gonna hate every second of it. But you put yourself in that situation. Stop wasting other people's time. Have a fake marriage. Live together. You could live upstairs. She could live downstairs. You could have a ring on your finger. She could have a ring on her finger. Y'all quotation marks married to satisfy the corporate world and their stupidness. You could even do it for X amount of years or whatever. And it's not on paper. I would much rather you do that, and then after so many years, you go ahead and split up because y'all weren't legally married anyway, but you're just perpetrating that to the public because the corporate world, you got to circumvent the bullshit. Don't legally get married to somebody and break their heart, break the kids' heart. The kids think that when mom and dad get a divorce, did we have anything to do with that? Do they not love us anymore? Are we responsible? Kids have nothing to do with the parents being divorced, but a lot of times the kids will blame themselves. And they're devastated because their comfort is ripped from underneath them and they didn't even do anything. The comfort of their home is totally different now. Now there's custody issues and custody battles in court. And, which weekend are we going to dad's? I mean, this is crazy. And all his money's going. That girl that you messing with, and your wife's a lot prettier, I might add. I don't care what nobody thinks. The wife is a lot more attractive than the girl he's messing with. I don't know what his problem is. He's going to lose a lot of money. That's an expensive piece of tail you messing with. People better think before they do. They better think before they do. You look at psychotic Chris Watts. He had a big ass house, very nice area, very nice neighborhood, 2 beautiful girls, another baby on the way. But that wasn't enough for him. That was not enough. So he had to eliminate all of them for a piece of tail that he used to work with this girl and they got to canoodling with each other. And next thing you know, he thought, hey, I missed the single life. So let me go ahead and be single, not through a divorce the normal way. Let me go ahead and be single through eliminating my entire family. So you not only lost your comfortable lifestyle, because they were doing pretty well for themselves. Nice house, big ass house, okay? You lost the comfort of that to go to prison. That was an expensive piece of tail. You lost everything. And the graphic nature of how he disposed of his girls is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The whole situation is horrific. Absolutely horrific. The kids watched their mother after he did what he did to her. And one girl witnessed Chris eliminate the other girl and said, "Are you going to do that to me?" Which, of course, he did. I'm not going to go into how he eliminated his girls. Y'all can research that because I don't feel like crying today. But I mean, to me, he is not only a narcissist, but also a psychopath because he had no emotions about eliminating his whole family. And thank God for, I forget the lady's name, but she was best friends with the wife. And she was like telling the cops, "Oh, hell no, something went left. She don't leave her purse. She got medicine in her purse. She don't leave that. If she went somewhere, she would never have left her purse in the medicine. No, something's wrong. No, She was aggressive. She was like a pit bull. She's like, you all need to get to the bottom of this because I'm telling you right now, something went left. I'm here to tell you." And the other neighbor told the cops that Chris was acting bizarre and that this is the footage that he saw that was weird on his security camera on his phone. So all these little pieces of the puzzle started to connect And Chris witnessed the security footage from the neighbor because he was at the neighbor's house. And he was scared to death. He was fidgety. He looked worried as hell. That's the only time that he freaked out. Not when his family so-called disappeared. No, no. But he freaked out when there was security footage of him doing shady shit that he normally did not do. It was breaking his normal Monday, I'm trying to say the right word, morning routine. And when Chris left, the neighbor told the cops, you see how he was freaking out? He don't normally act like that. He's worried. He did something. And they eventually caught his ass. So he's so in love with this other girl. And I promise you, do you honestly think she is going to keep in touch with Chris while he's in prison because my baby's locked up? Hell no. She's going to move on with life. They so in love. In love, my left ear. No. She's not going to stay in contact with his ass. She's done. Love, all that so-called love will go flying out the window when somebody goes to prison. That person that's in love with you is not going to stay by your side because the fantasy got ruined. Mm. Another prime example of someone not happy with their life. I got to sabotage it somehow. What can I do? What's the easiest way to kick myself hard and destroy myself? I know. That little girl that I work with, she kind of cute. You stupid. You shouldn't have never got married. You can't be faithful no matter what you do. You cannot be faithful. Narcissists cannot be faithful. They will never be faithful because I've already secured you. I've already got you in my corner. I need somebody else to feed my ego. I'm desperate for someone to feed my ego. That is why they will never be faithful. Never, ever be faithful. They are desperate for supply. They are desperate to be wanted by other people. They are desperate to be validated by other people. So they would cheat until they die. That's the only thing that'll stop them is their inability to breathe. I don't care how long they've been married and how many kids they got. They will never be faithful. Never. They never should have got married. Again, my main point. Never should have got married in the first goddamn place. All right, y'all. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.